So Dykstra doing anything to get on as Backman comes to the plate and takes outside. Ball 1, 1-0.
Stubbs playing behind Dykstra now.
And it's 2-0. And the Dodger bullpen busy again. Carter done for the night. And in the Dodger bullpen, Tudor, the lefty, up again, and Jay Howell, the right-hander. Of course, Howell hasn't pitched since the Pine Tar episode.
Tell you, it's a superhuman effort obviously required on the part of the Mets. But if they load them up or something like that and you change pitchers, you don't know what might happen.
And Hershiser behind on the count, 3-0. Not a happy night for Frank Cashin, the Mets GM.
You're also getting into the middle of the lineup.
Taking all the way, obviously, and it's 3-1.
Well, he ought to be taken all the way till 3-2. 1-0, it didn't appear that he was taking.
Mets haven't had 2 men on in the same inning since the first. And now Backman draws the walk. So runners at first and second with 1 out in the 8th inning. The Dodgers still need 5 outs. Lasorda confers with Perodowski, and here comes Keith Hernandez. And Tommy pretty much saying to Ron, what do you think? Ron says, what do you think, Skip?
Well, yeah, I can imagine the answer when he says, hurt to Oro, how you feel? As if he's going to tell him I'm a little tired. I think some pitchers will do that. That's what you want, honesty, but he might have been tired going into this ball game.
If he comes out of the game, it'll be about a 6-3 on the Richter scale.
Read his lips, I'm fine.
The Mets hoping a bloop and a blast will put him back in this thing.
Well, it will. Definitely will. But you know what happened to Back when he tried to make good pitches? Because as we talked about, he wants to shut out. Didn't make them, and then he lost them. I don't know what Hernandez is going to do here, but I would think he'd get a pretty good pitch to swing at early in the count. I mean, he's going to try to run the ball away from him. But Hernandez usually takes that ball to left field.
I would think if Hernandez gets a hit, Tudor will be in to pitch to Strawberry.
And Keith fouls it away, 0-1.
Mets buried in a mine shaft with just a thin sliver of air.
The count. 0-2.
This is the pitch that struck Hernandez out last time. And I don't know, I'd look like a split finger fastball. And he hadn't thrown that all series. That's what a 6-run lead will do.
And a breaking pitch is hammered foul.
That's a pitch he threw a lot last year. Great play by the bat boy down the right field line. If Mets had him playing on the infield back in the second, the game would be a lot closer.
No balls, 2 strikes. Hernandez trying to breathe new life back into the body. It's 6-0 Dodgers, but the Mets have runners at first and second. 1 out at the top of the 8th inning. No balls, 2 strikes to count.
He's trying, isn't he? Went with a 4-seamer. He's been throwing sinkers all night. Went for the strikeout.
settles for the one at first base as Hershiser covers. Runners move up, 2 down, and Strawberry coming up. The Darryl serenade.
Right fielder, Darryl Strawberry.
To collect his thoughts. And interesting thing, in the 59 scoreless inning scheme, I read a stat where he had 32 runners in scoring position, not one scored. Talk about getting outs at the right time.
2 men in scoring position here with 2 down. 0-1. Two, and now the crowd will really turn it up a notch with 2 strikes.
Take that pitch. Oh.
Like a quarterback whose signals can't be heard, he keeps stepping out of the box. Foul ball. So this crowd just warming up for what they hope is the encore in the ninth. 2 on, 2 out. 2-2 the count on Strawberry. 6-0 Dodgers. Some of the crowd chanting, "Beat New York, beat New York."
In the meeting, Timmy, what we talked about earlier, he may not know exactly what O'Hara wants to do, because normally you just throw him a fastball away and hope, you know, make him hit the ball to left field. But Hershiser's thinking shutout, strikeout.
Any out.
Yes.
Powell. Good. Sacks. And at the end of 7.5, it remains 6-0 Dodgers.
Your man in Washington has come through?
The Americans will be most displeased. Observe. The argon-activated radio-optic laser light.
you think, Boris? But the party demanded Bud Light.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Where is Boris? He is enjoying a cold one.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Right through the tire, Greg.
To be the best, you have to train constantly. Leadership demands continuous learning.
Way to go.
In sports or in business. We're Siemens USA, training our customers and our 27,000 employees to stay ahead in advanced electronic and electrical technology. Because when it's time to perform, there's no substitute for solid training.
Right through the tire, Greg.
We are Siemens USA.
My priorities are fouled up. I love Kellogg's Raisin Squares simply for the taste. You're right. I'm self-indulgent and shallow. I know they have no salt or fat. I know that avoiding that stuff makes sense in my heart. No salt. That's a good reason to eat Raisin Squares. But me, I just keep stuffing them in purely for that yummy raisin in the middle. I thought I was intelligent. Well, I am.
Kellogg's Squares. No salt, no fat. Relax. Enjoy them to your heart's content.
Remember when getting a new carpet meant worrying about stains and wear and tear? Then DuPont created certified Stainmaster carpet to help keep its new looks without your going to great lengths. DuPont Stainmaster. For stains and wear, it's not a Stainmaster carpet if it doesn't say DuPont.
Al Michaels, Jim Palmer, Tim McCarver. Game 7. The Dodgers got a run in the first, 5 in the second. Oral Hershiser has shut New York out through 8. The Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th. They're 3 outs away from the World Series. 3 outs away from their first pennant since 1981. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, Alfredo Griffin to lead things off. And then Hershiser and Sachs, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, with Rick Aguilera on the mound for the Mets. And a little disturbance down the line and left, causing a momentary stoppage. And that is, of course, the Dodger clubhouse in anticipation of a major celebration. 0-1.
It's that preparation for the World Series, if it does happen for the Dodgers, will probably be in late afternoon tomorrow, that Tommy was talking about in the pregame show.
I'll tell you, both ends, and Jim, you and I have both been on both ends of the spectrum. And I'll tell you, it's just out of sync. Your elation is to the point of giddiness, and your despair is lower than low.
Backman to Hernandez, and there's one away.
And you just can't help but think of what might have been. And so many of those situations in this series.
Hershiser. That's what you call an oral salute. And he'll get another one as he grounds out to short. 2 down.
Well, that oral salute has come after the performance of oral surgery on the Mets tonight.
Second baseman, Steve Sax.
I read a story where they said, I don't know if it's just standard fare that everybody in the Dodgers gets a picture from Frank Sinatra, but he got one from Frank and he spelled it O-R-A-L. Now, obviously, that was early in his career. It must have been his rookie year. So if you're listening, Frank, get his name right. Send him another one.
Frank always did it his way anyway. Sachs fouls it off. 0-1.
And what a way.
Even if he never won a spelling bee. Two out, bottom of the eighth.
He's more interested in phrases. Another way he phrased the song.
Aguilera takes care of Sachs.
And now the end is near.
Very near, my dear.
Crawley's been foreman here since I was a girl. He loves oranges. And only one orange juice, Tropicana Pure Premium Homestyle. It's pure juice with no water added or taken away. But what makes it special is sweet, juicy bits of orange. Crowley says it has the taste and feel of fresh squeezed. Your choice, Pure Premium Homestyle with juicy bits of orange or Tropicana Pure Premium. You just can't pick a better juice.
You tell him, Mary.
Treat yourself like you should. Treat yourself oh so good with chocolate kudos granola snack. There's pleasure so big and light. You'll love the whole grain crunch and nuts in every bite. Kudos make chocolate be everything it should. So treat yourself oh so good.
Listen to the heartbeat. Well, of America, my friend, it's the rhythm of the road, it's the awesome street, a city, a town, magic sound. Oh, the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet. That's today's Chevrolet. Wow. You ought to listen.
A television classic is back. On Sunday, October 23rd, Peter Graves returns to lead the top-secret Impossible Missions Force. The all-new Mission Impossible.
Friday, Barbara Walters tells the inside story behind her exclusive Mike Tyson-Robin Givens interview and all that's happened since on 2020 Friday.
In decisive games in the championship series, it used to be a best of 5. Oakland, Baltimore 73, Catfish Hunter blank the Orioles. Last year, best of 7 National League, Danny Cox of St. Louis blank San Francisco. And now Oral Hershiser against the New York Mets, who are 3 outs away from flunking this oral test as they trail 6-0. McReynolds, Jeffries, and then a pinch hitter for Aguilera.
And Oral moved third baseman Jeff Hamilton in. I don't think he's aware that it's 0 for 21, but he knows he probably doesn't hit him well. He knows he made bunt. So you take the bunt away from him.
To left center field and deep and all the way back, and making the catch on the run is Gonzalez. Jose Gonzalez to the gap.
Very nice play by Gonzalez. See how cautious he goes after. I bet he's never caught a ball like that in his life. Look at his right hand, how cautiously he's cradling the ball to make sure.
One out. Jeffries at the plate. Deck to bat for Aguilera is Lee Mazzilli. David Cohn sent the Mets to a 7th game. But Oral Hershiser is trying to send them home for the winter. 3-0.
But know what's going through David Cohn's mind? Not the game and the great game he pitched yesterday, but the second game. Because you sit on the bench and you think, what if I had just done this or this hadn't happened?
3-1.
It seems when you're the losing team or about to lose, you reflect on all the negative things, not the good things that have happened either during the season or during the playoff. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, they lose Jay Howell, and it's actually a boost.
3-2. On the left, Tim Belcher, and don't forget about him. 2 victories. To Griffin. 1 out to go. Mazzilli to the plate. Back on the bench to savor the moment.
Isn't that what he said the season's all about? Getting to the World Series?
His second in 5 years. Guy runs out onto the field in the middle of all of this. So time called for the moment. A strike to go. And the crescendo will build again in a moment. Two out. 0-2 on Mazzilli. 6-0 Dodgers. In the ninth. And he gets hit by an 0-2 pitch. So the Mets still alive. Barely. Elster due up. Howard Johnson will come up to bat for him. With 2 out of the 9th inning, Howard Johnson coming to the plate.
Howard Johnson.
For Johnson, a very tough series. And in fact, it earned him a seat on the bench the last 2 nights as Elster went in there to play shortstop. And now Howard comes up to bat for Elster with 2 out of the 9th inning.
They just pitched him real tough. Strawberry got his hits. A bunch of curveballs. He got 1 hit, a broken bat single.
Time called. Hershiser just noticing now the stoppage for
the pitch to Mazzilli, because something you talked about in the opening. You get so pumped up, you got to bring yourself down.
Yep.
2 strikes, only 1 more, and you go to the World Series and you hit somebody. Not what you wanted to do.
Mazzilli going, and nobody is covering, so they just let Mazzilli go down to second base. He wasn't being held on, and he figures, why not? So Mazzilli with an uncontested steal, and the count, no balls and 1 strike on Howard Johnson.
You got to do it because you take away the force play. And Howard hits the ball in the hole with good speed, is going to beat it out. So no gamble involved at all.
The 0-1 pitch. And again, a strike away. 0-2. That said no. They were running out of the dugout. Fabulous scene. 1-2 the count. 2-2.
Got to give Harry some credit. The ball was inside, and emotionally, you know, you hear the crowd, you call a guy out.
Yeah.
I know Orel Hershiser wants that pitch, but Howard Johnson, he still wants to get on. The other team doesn't win till you make the 27th out, and they have more runs.
The 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Mackey Sasser out on deck. And Hershiser will work for a windup, not even thinking about Mazzilli at second. That last strike is proving elusive, but it's proved elusive in this series. California, here the Dodgers have gone from 16 games under 500 to the World Series.
There's a vacancy at the Bates Motel.
Norman, is that you?
No, it's Spuds McKenzie, and it could be you. Look for this display and enter Bud Light Psycho Sweepstakes to win a Bud Light party with Spuds McKenzie at the Psycho Mansion. You can even get a mug like Spuds at participating retailers. Wow!
That Spuds is so cool, it's scary.
AT&T has just made Watts a whole new ball game for any size business. Pick from a lineup of plans that give you call detail, distance-sensitive pricing, and major league discounts, even on international and AT&T card calls. If you thought AT&T Watts had just one pitch, now it's a whole new ball game.
Buy 15 rolls of any Owens Corning pink insulation now and get your favorite NFL team jacket free.
Today's Duracell batteries are built to last up to 30% longer than the ones we made a few years back. Guaranteeing a long, happy life. Today's Duracell lasts 30% longer.
What's so special about Wendy's new Bacon Swiss Burger? Bacon. Special sauce. Swiss cheese. More bacon. All on a toasted Kaiser bun. It's the only Bacon Swiss Burger with 3 strips of bacon. Ooh, doesn't that sound delicious? Wendy's new Bacon Swiss Burger. Come on in now and grab one while they're hot.
The Dodgers scoring early and often. 1 in the first, 5 in the second. Win the pennant. Beat the Mets 6-0 in Game 7. In the Dodger clubhouse, Gary Bender.
Al, the National League champions, the Dodgers are here. It's exciting as we're getting ready now to present the National League trophy. Tommy Lasorda coming up here along with Fred Clare and also Peter O'Malley. And to present the trophy here to the Happy Dodger group, the National League president, Bartlett Giamatti.
Peter and Fred and Tommy, it's an enormous privilege for me to present the Warren Giles Trophy, which is emblematic of the National League Championship, to a great organization. Congratulations. All yours.
Thank you. Fred, let me start with you. You were the architect. You made the sweeping changes at the start of the year that worked.
It's an organizational victory is what it is, and to all of our scouts, all of our minor league people, and most of all to this guy right here and the staff, and to our players who were just so dedicated to win. There wasn't anybody who picked us to win, but this team would not quit.
Peter, that's a good case. You did not quit.
We have a great team. We're very fortunate. Here in the clubhouse, the ball player, the manager, the coaches, the front office, we have a winning team, and we're very proud of everybody. Thank you.
Tommy, you called this a team of destiny.
Well, it's time to give thanks and praise. Thanks to Peter for allowing us to go out and get the ball players. Thanks to Fred for making the deals. And thanks to the players, because nobody thought they could do it. Nobody thought we could beat the Mets. To me, the Mets are without a doubt the best team in the National League. And we were very, very fortunate to beat an outstanding ball club. I'm proud of our team because of the fact that they believed. They kept believing in themselves, and that's what's important. And of course, we got to thank God and our families and everybody that put up with us the whole year. We're very, very happy to be representing the National League in the Fall Classic, and we're certainly looking forward to it.
You've won 3 other pennants. Is this the sweetest?
This is best. I'll tell you, I had great players, but these guys here, nobody thought they could win. When we went to spring training, everybody said, hey, the Dodgers are through. And to restore the tradition of this organization is the greatest feeling in the world for me and everybody here.
Well, you're going to enjoy this tonight, but what about Oakland? It all begins here Saturday.
Hey, wait, we want to just have a good time tonight. We're all going to have a nice celebration. The players, I'll tell you something, my coaches, the trainers, they were all fantastic. It took a lot of hard work.
Tommy, who will be your starter in game one?
We haven't even thought about it. All we were thinking about was winning this game tonight. This was the biggest game of our life. And I'll tell you something, they came out battling, they came out believing. And this guy, Bulldog Hershiser, what a tremendous victory. What a job this guy has done for us. And if he's not the Cy Young Award winner, I want the FBI to investigate it.
Well, he is the MVP, Oral Hershiser, with the distance in this game. And here to present the Chevrolet Major League Baseball Most Valuable Player Award to Earl Hershiser is Ron Daniels, who is the area manager west for the Chevrolet Motor Division. Ron?
Gary, thank you, Gary. Oral, on behalf of Chevrolet, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Earl, coming into this game, 4 appearances. Did you ever think you would go the whole distance?
Well, there were only 2 people that I really thought about during the whole time, and that's Pat Screener, our physical therapist. He has worked very, very hard to strengthen my arm, and we have a fantastic program. And I just thank God. I thank God that I could have an arm that can bounce back like this. The Mets are an unbelievable team. They're a very, very tough team. I think they've only been shut out 4 or 5 times all year, and I had no idea that I could shut them out on just 2 days rest after relief.
You had a shaky first inning. There was talk that your curveball wasn't working for you.
Well, my mechanics were very bad for about the first 2 or 3 innings because between the adrenaline and the short rest, I just didn't know how to cope with it. And finally, I got into a groove and made some adjustments. I came in here and watched the video of my first inning, started to make some adjustments, and then it felt better.
Earl, what about the last out? What was going through your mind?
Well, I was so sorry that I hit Mazzilli. I was so pumped up, the ball cut on me instead of sinking, overthrew it and hit him on the 0-2 pitch. And then Howard Johnson took a fastball right down the middle. I guess he must have been looking for a curveball because I just said, here, hit it. Sandlot ball like that relief appearance against McReynolds, just here, hit it, and fortunately he didn't.
You're really going to have that label Bulldog now.
Well, these guys are fantastic. You get an MVP on this team, but this team is a team effort, and this trophy goes to a whole ball club. Tim Belcher, a rookie, set a record for 2 wins in a series. Steve Sachs is kinetic and just goes on and on and on, and Kirk Gibson is out there playing lame. Mike Marshall and Mike Sosha came up with big hits, and we just look at it as a big team effort.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go back down to Al Michaels.
All right, Gary, so the Los Angeles Dodgers are the 1988 National League champions. And we'll be back in Los Angeles in just a moment.
To those who with a boundless energy and burning spirit live to be the best, comes a salute from those of us who live by the same values, the U.S. Armed Forces.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money. Yeah. I'm going to college on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The U.S. He reaches for Rolaids. Nothing works better for acid indigestion. And why should heartburn take the fun out of the game? Relief. You know how to spell it.
It was awful.
Awful in the worst sense of the word.
Second, Hershiser goes all the way. L.A. wins it in 7. And we've heard from the Dodgers. We're now going to hear from the Mets. And let's go to the Mets clubhouse right now and check in with Corey McFerrin. Corey?
Okay, Al, with Davey Johnson. And Davey, first of all, Oral Hershiser, obviously brilliant tonight. But I got to ask you about that second inning when everything fell apart. What happened there? What's your explanation for what happened?
Well, we had a little problem on the bunt, and we didn't react to that. And then we made a few physical mistakes, and that hasn't been characteristic of this ball club at all. And we gave them about 4 extra outs.
Overall, obviously, talent-wise, the experts say the New York Mets are tops in the National League, expected to win the division, expected to win against the Dodgers this series. You haven't done it. Does that make it even tougher to accept the loss?
Trying to make me feel bad, Corey. Yeah, it certainly does. You know, we have a fine ball club. They battled back a lot of times this year. I felt we were on a good roll, and it would be hard to be beaten this series. And you have to hand it off to the Dodgers. Oral Hershiser had a great series. I'm sure he's probably the MVP. And
he is. I believe.
You just have to give them credit for what they did.
Davey, one more question for you. What is your status next year, and what kind of impact do you suppose this loss might have, and whether you're back or not next season?
I don't know, Corey, but, we'll address that after the season.
Would you like to be back?
Of course. I don't want to leave with this taste in my mouth.
All right. With Davey Johnson, a long road home for the Mets to New York tonight, I'm sure. Back to Al Michaels.
All right, thank you, Corey. Again, we mentioned Sosha's home run was the swing. That was the one point that tipped it toward the Dodgers. But also, I think it'll
you'll need some time to digest what Hershiser did on Sunday in Game 4. To pitch on Saturday under those conditions in Game 3, and Jim, especially you can relate to this, 111 pitches, and then to come out of the bullpen as the last pitcher that night, as the only guy who could pitch, and to do what he did is truly extraordinary.
Well, I think he was able to do it because he believed in himself. And, you know, before the game, he said, I feel great. And then you find out that he really didn't, but he still went out there. And whether it's Gibson playing with one leg or Hershiser doing what nobody expected him to do, that's the story here. It reminds me of destiny. I played against a team in 1969 that I didn't think was as good as us in the World Series, and we got beat. And I think that's going to be the matchup in this World Series.
I'll tell you, I think it's a real statement for emotion, too. The Dodgers playing with a lot of emotion. Not that the Mets weren't, but that the Dodgers were. And headed by Tommy Lasorda, who was quite eloquent, I thought, in winning everything, giving due credit to the Mets. And it's just a terrific thing for the Los Angeles Dodgers, a marvelous organization for so many years back on top.
And as we mentioned during the course of the series, a lot of Dodger bashing went on here over the past couple of years, and a big deal was made of the fact they drew less than 3 million people and 16 games under 500 in back-to-back years. Clear went out and made the trades, and Lasorda pushed all of the right buttons, and they had Hershiser and Gibson and the rest. And also Mike Scioscia with that big home run on Sunday, and he's down in the clubhouse right now with Gary Bender. Gary?
Al, thank you, Mike. They're just talking about the big home run you hit in Game 4, that 2-run homer of the night. They think that tilted the championship series.
Oh, I don't know about that, Gary. We got a lot of clutches. The only way we were going to get there, they're an outstanding ball club. We really had to play our best baseball to beat them, and it feels great. It just feels great to have accomplished this much because we were the underdogs all the way. We came back. We beat an outstanding ball club. It took a tremendous effort from everyone.
The Bulldog. Were you talking from inning to inning? Did he ever say, hey, I'm running out of gas?
No, sir. He got stronger as the game went on. He's a type pitcher you've got to yank out of the game. He never wants to come out of the ball game. He was still throwing the ball well. Of course, the early runs made it much easier.
Congratulations, Mike. Get after the A's now.
Okay, thank you very much, Gary.
Mike Scioscia. Let's go back now to Al Michaels.
Okay, Gary, and we'll be back in Los Angeles to wrap it up from Dodger Stadium right after this.
At his home in France, wine expert Christopher Stevens invited friends to guess the price of...
Clock strikes 6:30, babe. Time to head for Golden Lights. It's a good time for the great taste. Dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
Now this is Al Michaels for Jim Palmer, Tim McCarver saying goodnight from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles with a reminder that Saturday on ABC's College Football, the Washington Huskies tackle the third-ranked Trojans of Southern California, or the Michigan Wolverines take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Tonight on Nightline, what Dukakis needs to meet the challenge.
National League Championship Series has been brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, Today Chevrolet, and by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.